Hey, Tim Sykes here. Wanted to do a video just going over everything that's going on. I'm getting tons of questions because the markets are crazy volatile. And I'm sorry I couldn't keep up this week. I'm literally just trying to keep up with the market now that we have like a 16-hour trading day, pre-market, after-hours runners. It's tough right now for me, okay? I want to try to be there for the plays. I want to try to be there to answer your questions, but I get overwhelmed. I'm missing plays left and right. I'm missing questions left and right. I'm trying just not to get sick with, so little sleep. So forgive me, but I will always try to, catch up. And I think that it's important to go over everything right now, especially with, the NASDAQ dropping 3.5% late Friday. Trump gave his tariff threats over the weekend now. China is saying that, let's talk. So maybe we'll have an increase on Monday, but we don't know, what Trump is going to tweet or post on social media next. You just have to be careful, okay? Number one rule is cut losses quickly, but if I were to have a number two rule, it would be don't risk disaster. It's not just about cutting losses quickly. It's about sidestepping when there's tremendous risk. And if you look at like a lot of these crypto degens where they just hodl, they don't have risk management, they use 5, 10, 20 times leverage, it's not a question of if you're going to get burned. It's when and how badly, okay? If you play with fire, if you play with, nuclear materials where you can blow up entirely, it's gonna happen. I mean, this wasn't even that big of a drop. I mean, what, IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin was down what, 10%? From 66 down to 60? Okay, that's a big drop, but it's not like, oh my God, the world is ending. But when people have so much leverage, they get destroyed. And this is why I want to make this video. You're going to see all sorts of different traders, good traders, bad traders, amazing traders. People are all over the spectrum. You have to try to have the right perspective so that you can, use the volatility to your advantage and not get crushed by it. A lot of crypto traders are posting, and I posted this, I said the crypto crash exposed so much. Warren Buffett once said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. And the tide went out on crypto and a lot of people were swimming naked. And, I said, this is absolutely pathetic. If you ever felt jealous about anyone posting big gains recently, wake up. The vast majority of these big profits are from degenerate gamblers riding this bull market, and they don't understand the risk that they take. I saw a few people tweet, this guy lost $9 million, gone instantly. This guy lost $62 million. And there's so many more, posting all over the place. Like you can see here, this guy said he went from 150,000 in debts 12 months ago to debt free, and 5 million in profits, and now back to $500,000 in debt. This other account posted a 99.8% loss, lost 3.7 million. You can see these other traders, 60 million down to 400,000, 21 million down to 400,000, 20 million down to 380,000. This tweet said, I counted 1,000 traders who were down 100,000 today and 206 traders that are down over $1 million. You cannot break the rules and expect to be okay for very long, okay? We've been in a very long and amazing bull market the past few months, but so many people just think the good times are going to last. They think that this is the market how it should be. A lot of the top experts are saying, this is looking almost like 1998, 1999. We're going like parabolic, and that usually leads to a crash, and especially with so much leverage. So I want you to consider all of these overextended, over-leveraged traders, realize the risks, and realize that, you don't have to take these risks. Myself, oh, Tim, you're so smart, you know everything. No, I don't. I'm down on the month. I'm down a few $1,000s. I certainly don't know everything. I do know how to trade cowardly. I know how to stay safe. I know how to cut losses. But, those of you in the challenge webinar the other day know that I said I've been overtrading. I'm zigging when I should zag. I'm zagging when I should zig. I missed the 4, 5, 6 a.m. run up. Then I try to compensate at 7, 8, 9 a.m. And then I'm taking the backside of these trades. It's crazy. It's not like there's a lack of opportunity for me in my strategy. If you look at some of these charts, this was SLE the other day. This was a nice pump from 9 a.m. to 9, 10 a.m. But this is literally 10 minutes. Right? So you have to really be ready in a 5, 10, 20 minute period if you're going to really capitalize on a lot of the best runs. SLE went from 3.5 to 6 in 10 minutes. So after those 10 minutes, look at this. The pump goes all the way back down from the sixes to the fours. So you have to be very quick. And this is a great example. I mean, this is an extreme example, but this is what's happening where you're getting these short squeezes, these awesome runs, but they're 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour or two. That's it. Okay. And you have to be prepared for that. Or, you could be like Jack Kellogg. Jack is crushing it now, over $25 million now. He's up like 8 million, I think, in 2025. And he's taking swing trades. So he's not even participating in the smaller stuff. He just had, what was it, a $2.8 million gain on RR. And he held this thing for weeks. Shout out to Jack Kellogg. I'll post a link to his 7-Figure Cycles newsletter. It was in that newsletter. He took it from roughly 2 to 7. I was worried. It's so funny how, we're different, where he's able to have more patience and take much more size than I ever have. And a few days ago, there was a short report that came out that said RR is like a scam and everything. And I sent it to him because at the time he was up like 500,000 on it. And I was like, yo, be careful, man. You got to lock in those profits. And he bought more because it was like right in here. The stock had gone from basically 2 up to 5.5. And then the short report knocked it down to like the 4s. And that actually opened the door to the next leg up because all the shorts piled in. And I think this is the number one catalyst right now. RR is an extreme example, but like short sellers are the ones who are spiking these stocks the most. And you need to try to focus on plays where there are the most shorts. So RR, sketchy robot deals, sketchy deals, fantastic. Jack made nearly 3 million. A bunch of students did really well. I compiled some students. Where was it? Let me see. Sorry, I'm so behind. I'm congratulating a lot of you. Oh, this was it. Jake said he locked in the remainder of his RR position. New best trade, $9,700. Jake is in the challenge chat room. Everyone congratulate Jake. And I'll go over the other students in a little bit. I'm sorry if I miss you. Like I said, I'm overwhelmed with the number of plays, with the number of, plays at different times. I mean, whoever thought that there would be good plays like 4, 5, 6 a.m. Eastern, like with huge volume. It's absolutely insane right now. So I'm just trying to keep up, and I'm somewhat failing to keep up. So maybe I should try some of Jack's, swing trading. You tell me in the comments below. Do you like these, plays at all hours of the day, or do you prefer slower movers like what Jack is capitalizing on? SLE was just one example. But earlier in the morning, GWE, this was 6 a.m. 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. and it goes from 2.2 to 3.2. You can see here, I'm trying to even keep my eyes open right now. I just had a coffee right before I started this. GWE or GWH kept going, bouncing off the VWAP. And then later in the day, it actually broke out all the way to the 5s. This is maddening, crazy stuff. And congrats if you have ridden these plays up. Like this wasn't just 10 minutes. This was really 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. The stock goes from 2 up to 4.5. And then usually you get these fades all day, but this one actually turned it around and got above the VWAP and then, spiked again from over the VWAP here, 3.5 to 5. And those of you in the challenge know that, again, you have to figure out what you're good at and what you're bad at. Like Jack has gotten very good at swing trading. I, myself, it's not like I'm missing these plays completely. I'm overtrading. So you have to ask yourself, what is your biggest weakness? And you have to be honest about it. My biggest weakness is whether I nail a play or miss a play in the morning, I try to push it because I'm like, okay, if I see a play in the morning, I want more of it later. Now I kind of understand the market and I try to push it. And I can't tell you how many times in the past few days and weeks I've taken a good trade in the morning and wasted it with over-aggressive over-trading later in the day. ABVE was one example where I missed the run-up the other day. And, then I tried to dip buy it. Dip buys haven't really been working lately because after the shorts get squeezed, they're just out. This was ABVE the other day, 3.5 to 6. And I watched this thing go up. It's a former runner. I didn't take it. I was like, I'll catch the dip. I'll catch the dip. I'll catch the dip. And, it dropped from basically 6 down to the low 5s. And I thought, okay, this is my dip. Should have some support here. Instead, it just kept going. And this is a case of me feeling FOMO, missing the run up and then trying to make something out of nothing. And you really just have to recognize that dip buys aren't the key right now. And I lost over $1,000 and I wasted, my solid trade in the morning on XBIO. XBIO was a great trade for me. I made nearly $4 a share. And what did I do? I nailed that one, and then it actually went to $25 a share. So it's not even like I nailed it. I was buying it, where was it? Right in here, and selling it in here. It doesn't look like much on the chart, but this is what has been happening. And almost every single day this week, there's been a play like this. This is an extreme example from 4 up to 25, but you can see here, this is the front side of the run up. And then you can clearly see the backside. And there's just no dip buying opportunities here. So I wisely nailed it at 10, sold it at 14-ish, $2,000 roughly. Take that and go away. Be happy. Okay, maybe, I could have gone bigger. Maybe I could have held a little more, but that's a really good gain for me. And what did I do? I screwed up by taking that day actually I screwed up by taking ULY. This one was a runner that just collapsed. So this is the thing. ULY had a great spike very quickly and came down very fast. You can see here on the chart. So this is the issue where if you're buying these spikers, you have to be extra careful in the sense that they need to keep going. And if they don't, you have to expect the worst immediately. Whether it's ULY, whether it's ABVE, whether it's SLE, you can't expect every play to have multiple waves up. If they do have multiple waves up, that's a blessing. Like GWH had multiple waves up, but you can't expect it. And so as well as I did, nailing the amazing plays, I am shooting myself in the foot by overtrading and not necessarily being cynical enough on plays like ULY. I tried to cut losses, but you can see how fast. I mean, this thing is going up from 3 up to 8, and this is all in 10, 15 minutes and then straight down. So if you are caught in one of these things on the way down, even if you cut losses quickly, it's going to get ugly very fast. And especially if you're stubborn, where, I was stubborn, frankly, on this one. I didn't just get in and get out. I got in, I added, then I got out. And this add and this waiting, you got to cut that, guys. This is such a stupid trade for me, and I have to learn from that. And you can see here, ULY and XBIO were right next to each other. And I was like, XBIO, good. ULY, bad. ZNB, okay, it's a small win, small loss, whatever. BJDX, small win, small loss. I don't mind small losses. I mind, for me, the bigger losses that are preventable. And the same thing for you. That's why I started off this whole video with the crypto losses. Those aren't my students, but they're preventable. And all you can do is try to put in measures that prevent you from potentially blowing up. Okay, I'm down a few $1,000s on these trades. I'm down a few $1,000s on the month. It's not the end of the world for me. And probably it's even better for you guys to learn from my mistakes. Some of you are like, yeah, keep making mistakes, keep losing, I'm learning. I need to do better myself. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just not in this perfect place right now, sleep-wise, health-wise, time zone-wise. Unfortunately, I have a lot of commitments with my travel, heading to Columbia, actually, 2 new schools. Very excited to actually build some schools with some of my millionaire students, getting them to donate. So, it's good commitments, but it's still commitments. And, ULY, ABVE, I have to be more careful because I'm just wasting the opportunities. And it's not just me. In case you're like, oh, Tim, you suck. Some traders, especially those of us who trade a lot, David Hanlon, the laptop legend, David just crossed $10 million a month ago. Since then, he's been shopping around and he's been honest about it. And he's so pissed. He's, saying he round trip BBAI. He went from plus 250,000 to red, then back to 200,000, then to red, negative $14,000. So he's trading with infinitely more size than me. But how frustrating is this to go from plus 250 on the day to red, back to 200, and then to red again? That's just that's just heartbreaking. It's not even that he's not crushing it. It's that he is crushing it, but he's not necessarily locking it in. He got round tripped on open, RRIONZ. And that's frustrating for him. And, if you've been watching the webinars near the market open, Bryce Tuohy has been chopping around while Matt Monaco actually made like 500,000 last month. You have like a tale of two different kinds of traders right now. Like you have this guy losing 9 million and this guy losing 62 million and a lot of other traders losing a few 100,000 to people like Jack Kellogg who are locking it in 2.8 million on RR and now over 25 million. What's the difference? The difference is discipline, okay? Jack is not using leverage. He's not going all in. He's really paying attention to the moving averages. If you've been watching his challenge webinars, they've been very illuminating lately. He is just locked in and in the zone. And so too, Matt Monaco is up over 500,000 in the last month. Evan and Chris Shunk, Evan made like, I think 600,000 last month, but he also, I want to bring this up in case you think it's all sunshine and rainbows. Let me show you this. This is Evan Shunk making record 590,000 in September. And then on October 6th, he gets caught too aggressively shorting SPRB. SPRB is one of the ones that went full on supernova. And, he lost 209,000 and it could have been even worse. He could have lost like $300,000 or $500,000. Still, he had a record month the previous month, but it doesn't matter if you have a record month, you have to hold on to it, okay? And this guy says, like, you'll bounce back. Is this max loss or also stuck in the halt? And Evan's like, this is more like 4 times max losses. So he's specifically trying to program a max loss of 50,000. But when you're shorting, and this is part of the reason why I don't short sell, and I don't think newbies should, you can't control your max loss. It's nice to say, oh, I have this max loss. With longing, you can. Like with longing, you should expect these companies to fail. You should expect, every play to do this. And if you are cynical enough where you expect the worst, you're never going to be disappointed. SPRB, if you're shorting it, it gets halted. It goes up too fast. Just like, crypto, like it's not like they didn't have stop losses. They just couldn't exit their positions fast enough. And when you have true panic, whether, shorts are panicking on the way up here, SPRB from, 10 up to 350, this is insane. This is all like in 2 days. Okay. And if you get stuck in this shorting and you're trying to average up, I mean, yeah, it dropped to 170. So it is a 50% drop off the high, but imagine if you're shorting too early. So you can't control where the top is as a short, and as a long, you can't control where the bottom is. So you have to recognize these big swings. And I don't want anyone blowing up like those crypto people. I'd rather you be like me and David Hanlon, where we're not necessarily making that much right now, but we're also not losing that much. If you can go into a place where a strategy takes you to millions of dollars on the way up, and like worst case, you lose a little or you break even, that's a good strategy. Okay. David Hanlon just crossed 10 million last month. This month, it's a little choppier. It happens. It's not the end of the world. I'm closing in on 8 million and I'm like plus or minus a little bit. So that's why I have to be more disciplined. On my challenge webinar on Friday, we were literally watching GWH and we were watching it reclaim the VWAP. It was right around here, because I was giving like a midday webinar and I was watching it here at, 354-ish. And okay, it did end up making new highs, but I specifically just sat on the sidelines and I said, I'm just going to watch it and not take it, because even though it did the seemingly impossible, it got back above the VWAP and it actually did like a nice little cup and handle here from 3.5 to 5.5. This is very low odds. This is not like those perfect run-ups in the morning, like GWH in the morning. Beautiful, beautiful uptrend from the 2s to the 4s. Very little risk if you're riding it or, taking profits along the way. Very solid pattern. The fact that it actually did it again in the afternoon, this is probably the only one. If I were to think over the course of the week, which ones actually did the seemingly impossible, it's very low odds of success. So for me, I have to focus on high odds of success patterns. And I don't mind missing low odds patterns. It's tough because you want to participate in all these runs, especially myself, where I know there's opportunity. I get some of it, I want some more, and then I push it too much, and then I lose what I have already made. Like it's frustrating to lose. It's frustrating to be, whether you're plus or minus a few $1,000s on the month, it's just frustrating. And you have to accept that. Especially like, look at this. I'm like rubbing my eyes. I'm like trying to just catch up with sleep. I'm not in a good mental spot. And that's my own issues, but I have to call it out. I'm not whining about it. I just want you to understand this stuff impacts you. If you don't get enough sleep, if you feel the FOMO of missing good plays, you're going to hate it. But I do also have to congratulate students. I'm so proud of so many students, not just Jake making a new best trade 9,700, but this is Joan. She sent like the nicest email. She joined the challenge. She joined Tim Bowen's advisory services. And this was in December of 2023. So less than 2 years. And she said, today my account hit 137,000, about a double overall. So she's up like 65,000 in 2 years. That's great. And again, that's not even life-changing money, but it's a good start. And the process by which she doubled her account will help her double it again and again and again. It's all about the process. Some challenge students who are crushing it too. Wales, 50,000 in September. And then he lost like 4,000 at the end, but that's okay, right? Like he says this, somehow I need to listen to Tim S and get on the front side of trades. Same thing. I need to listen to Tim S. I need to listen to myself. I know what I need to do more of. I am capturing some of the front side, but I need to either capture more of the front side, which, is difficult. So I need to wake up. Like sometimes I'm missing the 4 or 5 a.m. runners because I'm waking up at 6 a.m. Eastern. But I need to really double down my efforts to get on the front side and trade the front side. And that's it. Because that's the easiest patterns right now. That's where there's the most upside. And you want to put yourself in that good spot. So I'm proud of Wales, 50,000 for the month. Dip and Rip. Dip and Rip has been on fire in challenge chat. You guys know Dip and Rip is in, early, out late in the chat room. I mean, like in early morning, working all day, trading all day, trying to learn. And Dip and Rip, this is literally 44,000 in just like the first week and a half of October. And it's pretty cool. I think Dip and Rip, I want to say, is at around 600,000 or 700,000 total. So this is a pretty good percentage move. And this is how, you get to millions of dollars over time. It's one good trade, one good day, one good week, one good month, one good year, added up over and over, and then sizing up later on. And Dip and Rip also said this. Thank you for creating this community, Tim. When I come into chat every day and see so many dedicated students, it's really motivating. It pushes me to work harder and try to improve. Jack Kellogg said this too. Long before Jack Kellogg hit 25 million, let alone a million, he was in the challenge chat and he saw millionaires being created, right? Like back then it was like Michael Good, Mark Crook, like they were literally banking. And then Matt Monaco, Kyle Williams, Jack Kellogg, Huddy, Maury, they all came up around the same time, and then they became the next round of millionaires. And now you have Clay and Stratty and Andy and Omer, another new millionaire student. So like get in chat, get inspired by other people, but also learn from what they're doing right and learn from what they're doing wrong. I'm not proud of my small losses. I mean, I'm proud that I took the small losses and I didn't let a small loss turn into a big disaster, but I'm not proud of my trading right now. Like if you were to give yourself a rating, which I encourage you to, be honest with yourself. What's your rating so far in trading in October? Leave a comment. Tell me how your trading is. Do you give yourself an A, B, C, D, F? The crypto traders get an F because they blow up and they lose everything. That's an F. I'm not blowing up and losing everything, but I'm also wasting a lot of opportunities. I would give myself like a C plus right now for October. In September, I'd give myself like maybe a B minus or C plus. Jack, I would give an A plus to. Dip and Rip, I would give an A plus to. And there's more, right? So like every trader is a little different, but I encourage you to get inspired by them and learn from what they're doing right and wrong. Johnson nailed PCSA in Buru. Pretty awesome, $3,700 in pre-market. So in case you think like, oh, it's all about making millions of dollars, it's not. You got to learn to make $10, $100, $1,000. These small gains can really add up later on. And I encourage you to start trading small. I like this. Kim says, this was on Friday night. saying up 2,000 this week, my best week ever. Iris has been nailing it, and I'm working on my strategy and risk management. I just started in late August. I'm keeping my risk at 5%, locking in gains. So, Kim might not be making millions yet, but I would give Kim an A+. This is a fantastic start. And if you get in the groove with these small gains, it really does add up. And then also I got to give props to Fergie Ferg, done for the day and the week. Overall best trading week I think I have ever had with 1,800. So I just have to continue the process day in, day out. A lot of this is just having the right mindset. So I'm so proud of you guys. I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to try to just wake up earlier and focus on these morning plays. I have a crazy schedule this coming week just because, 2 new schools, grand opening. Very excited. This is going to be school number I think 126 and 127. My goal is to build 1,000 schools around the world. So I'm moving in the right direction with my schools. I'm moving in the right direction with my trading. And obviously, teaching students it's just mind blowing what some of you students are doing. So I think that I'm doing okay, but I can do better. And I know that many of you are probably doing okay, but I know that you can do better too. Always look to improve. Okay. We'll see what happens with the market. I don't know what's going to happen with Trump and China and everything. Be careful though. Okay. That's all I'm saying. We're trying to work on ourselves and we're trying to work on our trading, whether you have small gains or small losses, hopefully, but be careful because this was definitely an overreaction with the tariffs in April, but we've come a long way. We've come a long, long way. And again, the most crashes happen in September and October. We didn't have any crashes in September. So shorts are losing their minds. Now, is this the beginning of a crack? We'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if we're right back to the highs too. It's not like I'm like, oh, all doom and gloom. This is it. We very well could go right back to the highs. So that would be nice too, but we'll see. Stay open-minded, stay opportunistic, stay disciplined, and I'll see you guys in chat. Let me know how you're trading. Give yourself a rating in the comments, A through F, and be honest and explain why you're giving yourself that rating too. Let's try to, learn from each other and try to really be introspective. Thank you.